make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's starting to boot on up. Oh, forgot to turn on my avatar. I have to die. Give me another moment. Microphone's working. Live chat windows. That's all good. That's all online. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And looks like that's all good to go as well. Oh, wait, I need to... There we go. Change the format. I like to hide the buttons on the side, just dead space. And I think everything's good to go. So, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web, no, not by Web, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars, Replay. Spawn on bottom left side is a Green Hawk, we got Sylar SK. Spawn on top right side is a Dark Gray Isabella, we got Karans. So, let's go ahead and get started. I'll check out the COs first. Hawk is, of course, technically a custom CO in Days of Ruin. Standard boarding cost, reduced radius of 2, has 3 expansion zones of 30, 70, 120, with a maximum energy of 120. Of course, the CO zone is a little bit modest, plus 20, plus 10. Of course, you get Black Wave at 50 energy, and of course, Black Storm at 100 energy, allowed to save 200 or 20 energy left over. Yeah, he mostly plays Hawk, or if not entirely. And of course, we got Isabella, who is nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, as standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get, of course, the same, plus 20, plus 10, relatively modest. And of course, for superpower, plus 2 movement range for all units, and indirect units get, of course, get additional 1 maximum range. So, let's actually get started now. Jazz Infantry, not big surprise. Of course, it's an early capturing game. This is, of course, a 2-base map, 1 airport. You also got temporary airport on the opposite side of the airport, so you get some nice resupply there. We do also have a pair of comm towers. They are contestable, but they're pretty secured. Plenty of hiding spots near the comm tower as well. You got the ruins with only 1 defense stars, a forest with all first 3. There's a forest of woods. Woods. The same difference. I swear, I swear I change all the terminology ever so slightly. Forest, woods. Not really a big difference. Bike infantry. Of course, there's also a seaport here, which aircraft carriers can be possible, which are relatively nice, honestly, but of course, highly expensive. Additionally, if you really want to, you can park a battleship in the reef here. Of course, it won't provide good coverage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Won't even reach the comm tower. Remember, in Days of Ruin, battleships only have range of 5 rather than range of 6. Of course, they can move and shoot, and so they have infinitely more range. We do have a tank deployed last turn by Isabel. Hawk goes for a tank and mech this turn. No CO inside that tank. Does get trapped there. Let's take a shot there, capture the city, which is a better idea than taking a shot, even though you would get the kill. And looks like Hawk is making some good plays with these central cities. Right now, Hawk has 15,000 income versus 13, so not only is going to capture up 2 more cities, it's trapped there, interrupts. You'll get 1 capture guaranteed. Never mind. Though, CO tank here, but Hawk CO could seal this tank here, get a first strike. But Isabel's follow-up tank would be very good. He does not have a follow-up tank here. He has an anti-air. CO's the tank, which for the tank is actually not a good idea, but of course this is with our cast vision. Plays it safe, goes to the city. Does get 5 energy. Secure the kill there. Goes for another tank and artillery piece. Got 2 mechs here. Takes out some of those infantry units there. Does get first rank tank, however, retaliation damage is high and does have day-to-day repairs. Anti-air can also pitch in a shot. I'm not sure if an anti-air with a CO zone boost and 0 defense stars. Actually, I'm curious about that. How much damage would that anti-air do? Not much. I think anti-air's got a bit nerfed from regular advanced wars from Days of Ruin against tanks. Because I think anti-airs were generally pretty decent versus tanks. But does get 33 energy there. And there as well, Black Wave, Black Storm could help heal up some units. As well as smiting opposing units. Try and flip the comm tower. That can be interrupted by a tank. Anti-air spot, or tank does spot the anti-air, of course I already knew it was there. Artillery covering right there, so a lot of good coverage to capture the comm tower. However, this infantry unit will be able to secure the interrupt. And it's probably best play. He sees the artillery in range. Anti-air will be able to actually range the artillery if he braves the forest, which there is a good argument not to brave the forest. With our cast vision, we know there's a good, it's safe enough. Goes the recon. Just go for his easy kills. Let the infantry interrupt comm tower. Donate a bit of energy there, but Hawk does have access to a Black Wave. Probably a good idea to pop it next turn after generating some power charge. We got the rockets and a flare. 18 versus 18,000 income. First strike there, machine guns it. Bike, finish off the command tank. Artillery could be CO'd, or the rocket. Sealed rocket. We got another rocket. Rocket flare. What? Rocket flare. Rocket flare. Does not CO the rocket. Does not CO the artillery. Does not CO the flare. Got a tank. Battlecopter. Mech gets a shot there. Hits it there. Mech gets a good strike down the command tank. Does knock it out there. Max out efficiency anti-air. Battlecopter and infantry. CO's a tank there, very nice. So both of the CO's were reset, but Isabel gets a nice 16, 26 energy, 32 energy in one turn. Big turn there by Isabel, looks like. And it's around 73,000 versus 62. Does not seal the tank there, could seal the tank there, or could seal the battlecopter. Does not seal the battlecopter. Capture the comm tower, puts some meat shields in front of it, interrupts that unit there. Anti-air decides to take a shot against the battlecopter. It's basically dead either way, so might as well. Artillery could pick it off, or maybe in the 5 health infantry? Probably 5 health infantry. Interrupts to capture the comm tower. Right now, Isabel has both comm towers. Flare gets knocked out. Artillery gets hit. She has a superpower, but there's a good chance this tank will be going down this turn. Got a rocket in range, and it's also hidden. Nope, it got revealed. The battlecopter has to hit that battlecopter. It has to intercept before the rocket gets hit. But there's a good chance this tank will go down, so take out the tank first before taking out the battlecopter due to the plus 10% defense. The rocket's now in the range of CO zone as well. There's a good shot there. Takes out the tank. Does lose a bit of energy there. Could have got bit some, right? No, it wouldn't. Tank. And the battlecopter can take a free shot against a rocket. Does take out one of the battlecopters there. This one is revealed. Ruins does not hide air units. Gets a free shot on the rockets. Wasteland does not hide. And a good rocket or artillery shot into the command tank. And there's nothing in range of this battlecopter. Battlecopter still has 2 ammo, so could try draining the ammo to save the rocket. This rocket's at least in range. Pulls back there, gets good strike there, gets good strike there, joins there, anti-air there. Takes shot against the Battlecopter, which does not drain its ammo. Battlecopter takes up Battlecopter. Anti-air Battlecopter, and Mech takes a shot. 26 energy versus 0. The seal the anti-air. There's 10 energy there. Takes out the rocket. Takes out the Mech. Maximum veterancy would help out that. Right now, currently 1 comp power per player. Mech can get a free shot into that artillery. Granted, just a 2 health Mech. Rocket takes a shot there. Mech can take it out. Hawk has 55 energy, enough for the power. Rocket, 66 energy, and there's a good chance he will deploy it out. It's currently sitting on C on a HQ. Seals a Battlecopter. Gets trapped. Strikes the tank there. 4 defense stars, goes a long way. And yeah, it'd be a good idea to pop the power next turn. Maybe get some power charge before that point, which is likely. Got a full health artillery in the adjacent to the zone. Get a good amount of energy there. Go back to the pops the CO power at the end of turn. And it's turn for 86, starts turn 69, so they're still pretty even at the moment. 19,000 versus 18,000 income. Still got 1 despicably neutral property left on the map. Lots of good picks there by Isabella. Though, let's see, Rock has 2 ammo remaining. Hawk, let's see, 10 units. That's what's feeling so off. 10 units versus 17, 64 versus 82. So Hawk's about a turn behind, but is missing a good chunk of forces. He still has 2 rockets in prime positions, though. And it is possible for him to deploy another power this turn. Decides not to pop the power this turn. And we got the missile. The missile knows where it's at, for knows where it's not. Rocket bike. Blair has 1 ammo remaining. Pops the power. Get a little bit of health for Jen, of course. Rocket infantry. Good hits there. Puts a good round into the rocket. 2 ammo remaining. A rocket mech. $60 energy, so Isabella has a CO power available. Missile is out of range. There is a possibility Hawk could perhaps take out this command copter. It's in mist, but mist on seas only hides ground and naval, does not hide air. The only thing I know that actually hides air are airports and temporary airports. Even though I think the mist on terrain should hide air units, and also have the defense stars flipped with the ruins. Now I suppose mist on sea only provides 1 defense star. Same as, well no, Reese do provide 2. Rocket mech, got quadruple rockets. This command copter needs to fall back, save herself. It's at 6% health. Doesn't have to be joined together, since keep up 1 health means you can deploy it out with safe, with at ease. Don't agree with joining there. keeping the 1 health one and join it later probably a bit better, honestly. Because you can just spend the 1 health Battlecopter's turn, not worry about losing an expensive unit turn. Pops another power there. Both players has 4 rockets. Tank, let's see, you got anti-air recon. 20,000 income for Isabella. Battlecopter, mech, and tank. Join there, takes out some rounds of some of these units. Remember, the indirect only get +1 range, as this is the nerf Isabella, so these rockets could try to position themselves to be just out of range of his opponent's rockets. I think the missile did get spotted at one point in time as well. Got a human mechapede there. So they get interrupted by a bike. Battlecopter bike. And the rocket does get spotted there. There's a superpower. +2 moon range is massive. Anti-air strikes Battlecopter. Rocket hits a flare. Anti-air takes off flare. Rocket strikes rocket. Rocket strikes whatever that unit was. Rig and anti-air. Does get the 1 rocket resupplied. Takes out 1 anti-airs, hits the artillery, hits the anti-air. Hits infantry unit there, hits that infantry unit there. Battlecopters are ruffling their way forward. Missile currently 1 level, veteran C. CO unit is still very healthy. And Hawk's tank goes down. Had like 30-something energy, if I remember correctly. Battlecopter, anti-air bike. Does strike the rocket there. Hits the rocket there. Strikes the tank there. Bike takes a shot at it as well. He did CO the flare. 23 energy at the moment. Anti-air bike. And it does save 7,000 funds. So maybe going for something a bit heavier next turn, like a bomber. Aircraft carrier is probably not a good idea with the amount of rockets nearby. Though a good number of them have been hit at one point in time, so they're all pretty wounded. Maximum Veterancy rocket here does take a hit, just leaving another max Veterancy and Veterancy 2 rocket over here. Battlecopter, artillery. Lots of good picks there, 30 energy at the moment. Positions the CO flare forward. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry, saving 8,000 funds. Takes up Battlecopter, takes up the max Veterancy rocket as well. The rocket on top of the ruins down to 2 ammo. Battlecopter, tank, bike. Instant turn of 120,000 for 106, so Hawk is a little bit behind, but he did have some money saved on up. Right now, 26,000 saved on up. Goes for flare, can still afford a bomber. Bike, Duster. There's a decent amount of Battlecopters, so Duster's not a bad option. And does manage to basically knock out the anti-airs. Hits another rocket as well. Dusters, I think, do decent versus artillery and rockets while at it. Superpower activated. Battlecopters are ruffling the way forward. Hits the flare. Will knock it out. Had 91 energy. Battlecopter, anti-air infantry. I wonder how far the Duster can reach. Very far. Can pick a couple battlecopters nearby. Seals a flare. Does hit the one of the battlecopters. This battlecopter could be struck as well. Does use the anti-air there. No power charge, so the battlecopters will not spot the Duster advancing. Takes another rocket there. Pretty devastating counterattack. Battlecopter, tank, and bike. Of course, remember as well, battlecopters do not get hidden by woods. Goes for a temporary seaport over here, which actually is useful for a hiding spot. That's about it. Temporary ports in general be just, well, generally better. Duster gets a shot there, hits that unit there. Anti-air will strike the command copter, knocking it out with the 36 energy. This rocket's at 2 ammo. Seals the battlecopter, hits the Duster with a max efficiency but wounded anti-air. There goes the Duster, takes out the artillery. Finishes the temporary seaport. Battlecopter, bike, and infantry. Pops the power. Get some good hits there on those rockets. Rocket tank. Isabel is starting to disintegrate relatively quickly, down to 55 funds versus 111. Or she still has her day-to-days, and still has 2,000 more income. Making some advances down south. Does hit the missile there. Of course, max efficiency on top of a HQ with the plus 7% power from the power. In other words, a lot of defense there. Does take out another battlecopter with said missile. Isabel's really starting to disintegrate. She has a command artillery piece here. Battlecopter here is at 9% health. 41. Artillery's in range of artillery, so if the two of Pike spots his artillery, this command artillery will get a great shot on him. Does not. Double anti-air. Temporary airport still not captured, so this airport will need to land or merge for this healthy airport. Battlecopter, artillery, and bike. Oh, does get trapped there. Does get trapped there, using the wounded units to scout forward. Hawk has a pretty good push over here with good severe efficiency units. Isabel has a good force here, but not necessarily something to range all those rockets. Tank, battlecopter. Infantry, battlecopter, anti-air. Flare has 1 ammo remaining. Does hit the battlecopter there. Is a 2 health battlecopter. Hawk could pull out his superpower or his regular power this turn. Missiles in range with the battlecopter. Yep, he can now pull out his power this turn. Pops the power. Battlecopter, flare, so a lot of flares. There's a tank down there. Double tank. I think she needs to go for some more battlecopters over here if she can simply deal with this missile. The missile's in range of this 5 health battlecopter. This missile is some max efficiency, so definitely got some good value out of it. Oh crap, I'm running out of hard drive space. There's 1 replays. YouTube down. Wait, I need to empty recycling bin, I think. Before I lose the replay, empty recycling bin. Yes, delete items. Okay, that gave me 19 gigs. Then I can take a moment to clear it up after this game. Let's see, what did I miss? If my hard drive space gets maxed out, am I recording .mp4s or .nkvs? Even then, I would have to splice together videos. I'd rather not use the video editing tools because none of them are user-friendly. But if it's a .mp4, I just lose the file. Because MP4s are not fun files to work with. Let's take out the battlecopter there, hits some infantry units. Battlecopter, anti-air. Hits the anti-air, hits the bike. Pops the power, charge for the flare. Good amount of power so far to pull out this game by Hawk, as well as decent amount of superpowers by Isabella. You usually don't see 2 superpowers from Isabella. Does get some great hits around the tanks up north. Does have, of course, a couple anti-airs help with these battlecopters, and to mention they're in range of this CO zone. Pops superpowers, so now they are definitely in range. Takes out the tank there, takes out the capturing infantry. Anti-air hand down south, takes out that unit there. Anti-air takes on another battlecopter. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Tank strikes battlecopter. Tank strikes, or anti-air, I should say. Takes out that anti-air. Battlecopter strikes the other tank. Tank, leaving 2 health battlecopter alive. Ends turn 75 versus 115, so Isabella's still about 2 turns behind, which is still a fair amount. Good number of damaged tanks up here. Good number of Hawks, rockets running out of ammo. This one says 0 ammo. This one has 1. So Hawk needs perhaps to get out a rig. Right now, his advance will stall because he's out of ammo. Who needs luck when you have ammo? Oh, he doesn't have ammo, so he has no luck. A couple of bikes down here could be very nice. I'll try to capture and force the flanks to be more utilized. Bike, tank, and battlecopter. And Isabella still has a 2,000 income lead, just Hawk is being far, far better. He does finally go for a rig to help rig the game. Flare is on top of the HQ, it's also out of ammo. This is 0 health ammo here on top of the city. Infantry, and battlecopter. Rocket and recon. As well as has a good amount of battle copters, would be great against the rockets. The single missile's been very, very good. Rocket artillery up here. 9 energy. Another battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Takes out the rocket there. In range of artillery. Trying to capture some flanking properties. Medium tank. And bike. Takes out that tank there. Anti-air does strike the battlecopter and that one as well. Very good counterattack there. Hits some of these infantry units, interrupt the capture and stop the capture. Yes and no. It is choky along the sides, but this is all traversable land. The shores, the beaches in here, this is all traversable. There's only thing that makes it choky is these two mountains. Like this is 100% traversable. Granted, 0 defense stars. Infantry, tank, and battlecopter. Isabel has 39 energy now. We also got a temporary report established by this rig right there. Anti-air, bike, and battlecopter. Get some good hits there. A lot of good hits there, up to 38 energy, as well as at 49. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Instead of 149, as well as has 108, but for day-to-day funds, it's effectively 100. Let's see, she's effectively 1 turn behind, approximately. Not too bad at the moment. Made a little bit of a recovery. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Anti-air, battlecopter, and recon. Does single that tank twice. Isabella's turn. 40 energy. Won't be able to obtain any more, looks like. At least for this turn. Has a sortie of battlecopters, that's for sure. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. A handful of battlecopters by Hawk and 1 missile, that's been very good. One anti-air for defense as well. As well, it sort of needs her superpower to help range all the rockets. She's able to range all the rockets in 1 turn. It will go quite good for her, though Hawk has now applied another missile, as well as a tank. Isabel now has full 60 energy, she's probably going to just set on up, ready to charge forward. Missiles out of range. She's going to have to perhaps just charge forward. She still has more income, but that's not been too impactful this entire game. It's 159 for 182, about a turn and a half behind. Does see all those battlecopters now. It does put around that battlecopter. She's gonna pop her superpower. Oh, we got a power to dull the advance by Isabella. That, and not to mention gain plus 10% to global, so that is very well timed powered. Pops superpower. Takes out battlecopter. Hits the anti-air. Capturing up the property there. Artillery advancing to melee range. Anti-air hits the battlecopter. Hits a tank. Battlecopter sweeps around, hits the medium tank. Tank hits anti-air. Tank hits recon. Recon gets hit by bike, hits the bike, hits the bike. Hits the infantry unit that's capturing the property. One health battlecopter scouts his way forward. Hits the medium tank twice. Battlecopter hits the medium tank, not hit the rocket. Hits that command tank there, knocks it out there. Could seal the flare there. Probably a good idea to seal the flare there. Let's see, ends her 144, starts her 141. She's evened out, but this is going to be a nasty counterattack. Oh, seals the anti-air. Thought sealing the flare would have been a better call. Going to get a lot of power charge this turn. 55, 62, 70. Ooh. I think this is the turn where Hawk wins. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. 81,000. Gets trapped, but that's a 1 health anti-air. Hits the missile. Hits the rocket. Does not put a round into the artillery of the infantry unit there. Takes out a rocket, hits another rocket. But we could see a Black Storm this turn. There's enough targets in front of him to get a Black Storm going. $107 energy, 116 maximum energy. Go for the Black Storm. It's been a while last seen the Black Hole theme music in Tiny Wars. Battlecopter, flare, and bike. Isabel's down to 40,000 for 131. Yeah, I think she's done for. Battlecopter, tank. Getting some good rounds there. Does not take out the battlecopter. Flare, tank, and battlecopter. And ends turn, times out, and resigns. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. If you all can give me a moment, I need to clear out some hard drive space. Let's see which replays I can delete. I have my store, oops. Let's see. The last one I uploaded was a Company Heroes 1. There we go. I can delete this many. Go from 15 gigs free to 15 gigs free to 146 gigs free. And there we go. A very good game. And now, let's see, the next one I was wanting to do is actually this one next over. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars, These Are in Tiny Wars replay. Small bottom left side as a blue gate, we got Jean Bat 13YT. Guessing YouTube? That's something new in this name. Either way, small on top right side as the turquoise or teal will, we got Inconspicuous. When it comes to COs, Gauge has been buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10, plus 20, and direct units get plus, and naval units get plus 20% offense, and the CO unit himself gets plus 20% offense. For a superpower, of course, get plus 2 in indirect max range. When it comes to will, all units get, or standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10, plus 10. Ground direct units get additional plus 20% offense, and superpower get plus 2 movement. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, 3 seaports. Even with 3 seaports, at most you usually see a lander or gunboat. Of course, this map is relatively large, and it will have a little bit of downtime of just infantry. If you notice at the exit of each path, you do have a forest slowing down all paths, so track units also get slightly slowed down, and wheeled units, of course, in Tiny Wars and Days of Ruin, they move slower, like on plains, as with shores, unlike in, say, Dual Strike and previous Advanced Wars, where shores are effectively no different than roads. Additionally, the seaport in the back has shores on 3 sides, for some reason. They could probably just eliminate this shore there. Got a recon infantry and commit space skip. Oh, wait a second. I just realized something. Looks like there's a bit of a handicap. I think these two players' player levels are quite significantly different. So we do have a 10% handicap in favor of Gage. So, no offense to him, but two players probably agree to the fact that he's probably I'll put it nicely, not as good player as Will. So, gotta keep in mind the handicap. I'm mostly just judged, when I look at games, I'm mostly just judged by on the game length, the number of turns and actions. And go from there. And if the game goes on a long time with the handicap, it's probably, how to put it nicely, a needed, I don't know how to put it nicely, a needed handicap, a justified handicap, between player skill level. That's probably the best way to put it. Sorry, I usually view the term handicap, not the people, as a bit of a negative term. Oh, you need a handicap to play against me? That sort of high concept. I don't know how to put that nicely. It's one of those taboo words in certain circumstances. Capturing up the comm tower now. This infantry unit could be struck by the recon. Of course, I suppose with increased income, a lot of things could be adjusted. So in this case, no Tink Rush, just more infantry, so Will's going aggressive. Tank heading up north, this could be CO'd. Merrick Gage gets plus rooms in offense on all CO units. Artillery bike. T-Copter triple infantry. Does capture the comm tower, so that is not going to interrupt it. Does spot the recon. Seals the tank there. Right now it's at plus 55, plus 45, minus 5 the comm tower. Okay. So, which would be plus 50, plus 40 with all of the efficiency and CO bonuses. So, a pretty good, decent tank. Will may CO his tank right here. Looks like that one or one of these 3 units could be loaded with the T-Cop next turn. Could be actually this one. Oh, that's an anti-air. Could be this one, but there's an anti-air there now, so likely be this one be loaded up. Infantry unit could be run over there. It's close enough. just fjord the river. Got artillery down south as well. Does spot the recon, gets a first strike to the recon, takes an infantry unit there to get some energy, 14 energy, early energy for Gage. 20,000 funds the bank. Could go for a duster or even bomber. Of course, he is the indirect CO, so artillery may be a possibility as well. Triple artillery, tank, anti-air, and flare. Yes, the bike down south does not spot the artillery, so the artillery get a great first strike on the CO tank. Tank, artillery, artillery. Does strike the tank there. Battlecopter. It's the infantry unit there, and that one as well. Tank, and infantry. Maybe, yep, does load up with pull another infantry. Can't speak. Could probably go to the cities down south. Battlecopter, recon, and anti-air as well as infantry. Right now, Gage has quite a bit of presence around this tank. A lot of infantry units there. Could start flipping up this seaport there. And I think as well, capture that seaport could allow him to go for a battleship up here and provide some shore bombardment. And maybe go straight up here. There is, while it's not many, we won't see capital ships all too often, there is still always looming threat. And not to mention, if Gage would be reloading to a battleship, it gets a lot of firepower. Granted, we'll have trouble spotting on these bases. Artillery, artillery, and infantry. Gage at 34 energy. Medium tank, and commits base skip. Answer 126 versus 124. Definitely income fit. Oh, it's even down, but remember the handicap. So Will's doing a great job in getting the capture game. Though it looks like still a couple properties still despicably neutral. We have our rocket, flare, and bike. Let's take the bike. It's the infantry unit. Flare, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Gets a lot of good kills there. Has a superpower available. We're not going to be pulling out this turn. Keeps his unit in reserve. Keep the units inside the CO zone though. It will of course give him +2 indirect maximum range. Though it doesn't have too many indirect units at the moment. Would increase the range of flare, but that's about it. Artillery up here, single artillery. We do have our rocket artillery here. Goes for T-Cop to capture the islands. Right now they have the same amount of properties captured, 25. Which could result in a bomber every turn. Bomber costs 2,000, go for 3 infantry after that. That'd be another 4,500. So both players can't afford a bomber every turn. Actually, both players actually lacking a bit of anti here, so bomber every turn would be quite devastating. This infantry unit there, and there. No superpower just yet, fires a flare. Got a missile. Does spot the artillery there. Gage has great presence down south. Infantry, tank, battlecopter, and tank. Or does not take the battlecopter there. The extra defense came in handy. Tank, and battlecopter or T-copter. Actually, does fall back a little bit there. Looks like no superpower. Does go for a battleship immediately. $25,000 versus 28,600 funds, so 3,600 funds different, which is only one property different, one in favor of Gage. He's trying to capture some of the properties in the center. Comtower City, the central city here is not captured. This one is captured and is farther forward on his opponent's side of the diagonal. Infantry. Of course, battleship. Battlecopter does hit battlecopter. Duster, mech, infantry, and tank. I think he's expecting a bomber got deployed in the field, which is simply not the case, though he does have a good number of battlecopters. I don't think he's ready for the battleship. They have a join there. Pulling back out of this region. He does have a number of artillery here, so if his opponent pushes too far forward, he will get shelled, particularly with a superpower. Will right now has 58 energy, and everything's outside of the seal zone, so not like they will get not like he'll get a superpower deployed next turn. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Does hit the infantry down over here, interrupts the, or stops the capture here. Will has quite a bit of forces here, but Gage's forces split on up. Divide and conquer. You divide your opponent's forces and take them out one at a time. So Will is a pretty good position right now, especially with his superpower to give him increased movement range. He's able to pounce a wooden flank, no problem. Does hit the infantry there, goes for a cruiser. Peacock is actually running low on fuel. 31 fuel. This city down here has not been captured, and Blue's Teacup is still heading up north. Right now, Gage at 28 properties versus 24 for Will, so he is starting to take some pretty big deficits. Didn't even need a superpower for all of these engagements. And looks like Gage will lose his entire southern flank at the current rate. Mech, gunboat, infantry, and recon. Pops superpower. Artillery shelling this up, needs the firepower bonuses, not necessarily the range at the moment. Takes the medium tank, with 2 Alpha artillery falls back. Flare there, scout run. Battleship takes a good shot there on the tank. Try to capture some properties. Advancing in this general region, there's nothing left to stop this advance, but Will can pop superpower and just simply rotate it back up there and take it out. But just taking this flank out as well. Will's in a pretty good position next turn. Duster, rocket, bike, and infantry. Pops the superpower. Battlecopter, forward, recon, infantry. Recon gets a strike there. Takes out the battlecopter, capturing up a property, hits the tank there, knocking it out. Tank hits artillery. Tank hits tank. Infantry hits a battlecopter. Artillery hits anti-air. Good shots there. Does take out the battlecopter. Tank hits a rocket. Takes out the rocket there. Battlecopter strikes the tank. Takes out the artillery there. Tank hits a tank. Tank hits the artillery. Tank hits the anti-air. Crushes the southern flank as I expected. Southern flank is just simply non-existent anymore. Tank, anti-air, and does pull back the low fuel teacup to the to the full airport. Duster can't necessarily push forward, hit the dust, or hit a battlecopter since Duster's in the region. Battleship does to get a good shot up there. Tank, double anti-tank. Looks like he's trying to stop this advance hard. COing an anti-tank's probably a pretty good option right now. Of course, he still has a CO unit on the field. Duster does count. Duster, remember, HQs cannot hide areas. And the here to strike the Duster there. It looks like it's game over for Gage, honestly. The ships are not providing enough presence. They have no range towards the center. Without a lander, can they even make it? They're moving. They're gonna move 2 tiles, aren't they? That's how far that. Yeah, they only move 2 tiles without a lander. In fact, let's see. Their base movement's how far again? Yep, through a forest. It says 3 tiles, so they have to spend an entire turn going to the forest. They'll perhaps jump off of 1 turn after that to the road. But still. It would be move here, then move here, then move here. Yeah, it's slow going for the anti-tanks. You have an emergency battleship right here. Battleship right here will provide some good coverage. Of course, it is landlocked in nearby shores. It's a blue water ship, not a brown water ship. A lot of profits to capture there. 25 versus 20, or 26 versus 27. We have North hits the tank there, so you can see this battleship next turn. And Gage decides to go ahead and resign. This is Angrid saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. I read my new text document with a list of replays. Let's see. Yep, that seems pretty good. I cast Company Heroes 1 every Thursday. So, if you want to some Company Heroes 1, please come back Thursday. Company Heroes 2 will also be on Wednesday. By the way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Daisy Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the north side as the blue Whalen. We got Nini. I don't know why I have trouble saying that every single time. Spawn on bottom left side as the red Brenner. We've got Yuki Kazi. Kazi? No idea. Brenner has been nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, has standing boarding cost, 3 radius, only 1 expansion at fully maxed out 60. Then of course another max energy is 60 of course. All direct units get plus 10, plus 30. And of course for superpower, get 3 health recovery. Whelan's course been buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has a reduced 30% of boarding cost. With a radius of 2, 30, 60, 60. All units get the plus 10, plus 10. All units get additional plus 20% offense, plus 40% defense, totaling up to 30, 50. And for a superpower, all air units get additional plus 300% defense. So, let's go ahead and get started. This map is a 3 base map 1. Airport is somewhat forward, which means potentially it could be missiled. Column towers in the middle diagonal, contestable. Both players use off a gunboat. A lot of shores here to travel. Of course, both players do start out with a 0 fuel recon next to the HQ. Just infantry at the moment, of course. Brenner has 4,000 income, so maybe bike infantry this turn. Bike infantry. Whelan has 6,000 this turn, so you could go for bike infantry. Maybe going for bike here. There will be a slow going exiting. A lot of rough terrain there. Infantry, and bike up here. Bike, infantry, and infantry. triple infantry this turn by Wayland, so saving 3,000 monies with 11,000 incomes, which means you have 14,000, so go for battlecopter and then have 4,000 funds left over. So no airport yet, never mind. I'm choosing players have an airport by now, so he's probably gonna go for a tank next turn. Do you have a tank deployed down here by Brenner? Maybe probably gonna seal it to next turn. Tank there. Mech up here. And infantry. Brenner start catching with this airport. Yep, starting to catch the airport there. Wayland's a couple turns behind. And triple infantry there by Brenner. Seals the tank course, leaving 2,000 monies left over. Here. Infantry, and anti-air. Before even the airport gets captured, goes for anti-air. So that anti-air needs to go screaming down towards the airport, hit infantry all along the way. It's the infantry unit there, who got a tank. And got this tank up north. He could use a gunboat to try to block some movement, though there's a lot of shores there to traverse around the gunboat. Apparently the gunboat doesn't have gun, who would expect. It has torpedoes, no guns on gunboat. Very anti-Second Amendment, I would say. Brenner could interrupt the capture of the airport. We'll receive a strike there from the mech. Does get a shot on the mech, but it was an even trade. Which means it also was in favor of the infantry unit since it's cheaper. You sit there in the infantry unit there, up 11 energy. Mech could be loading the gunboat and traverse to get over here. And we do have a battlecopter now. Wayland's anti-air is getting closer. Wayland's up to 30 energy. Mech hits the tank. Of course, the extra defense is very useful. Drops the mech off on that same mountain. And both players have not captured the comm tower, even touched it. So, that's so equal. Tank, medium tank, and infantry. Gets shot there. Gunboat's down to 39 fuel. Of course, it has 1 ammo. Tank, infantry, and tank. Does get a good strike there on that tank. And got an infantry, medium tank, and mech. So, 2 medium tanks by Wayland, so a heavy number of them. Has not been able to capture up this airport. Brenner's tank here has took a bit of damage. Granted, his superpower can help repair his own tank. In fact, pulling back some of these tanks here, like this 3-off tank, could be nice because he's pretty close to his superpower, just needs 8 more energy. Wayland probably should keep units away from the CO zone to make sure he doesn't get that set 8 energy. Gunboat has 30 fuel. Problem is, dropping out the mech there means it can be struck by this infantry in there if he wants to interrupt the capture of the airport. Probably should have maybe dropped it off right here on top of the forest. tank, infantry, and artillery. And does not interrupt the capture before it starts capturing. Infantry, tank, and tank. Trying to flip the airport, at least keep it occupied. And that tank is in range of the artillery. It may be across the sea, or a river, pond, what do you want to call that little channel of water? Channel, let's go with that. The command tank will take a shelling, however it is on top of 4, so 3 defense stars. Mech is probably capturing up the HQ now, got an 8 here. Another medium tank, and of course another infantry unit there. Gunboat needs to fall back to seaport. Turn for that property there. Wayland has 21,000 for 20,000, so pretty even there. Does not enter the capture there. But still looks like there's still some despicable neutral properties, like this one here, this in the corner. And the property that's a difference, making it odd. I'm not sure where that one is at the moment. It's actually probably this property right there, since it's captured on both sides like that. Got a good core of tanks here by Wayland. Got 22,000 comes 20. And deletes the mech rather than capture the HQ. He really does not want the superpower there. That is... oof. That's gotta be painful. He still doesn't have the airport, and he deletes that mech just to prevent the superpower. Because it's not with the health recovery and the plus 30% global. That was a painful delete I expected. Of course, it would have been started capturing up next turn. At most, he's basically losing out 1,000 income to give his opponent a superpower, because after all, he would strike it, kill it off, and then occupy it. It's probably the best call to do that. Painful, yes. You now have the superpower available for Brenner. Wayland's pretty close to his own superpower. No battle copter utilizes, so it'd be effectively a +10/+10 global. Not great. But he is catching this airport down here. Wayland's turn, 110 versus 116. Wayland's slightly ahead. Medium tank's getting some good work done. This medium tank's starting to run low on ammo and fuel. Does explode itself. Gotta make sure it can't leave units wounded for Brenner's superpower. Gets a shot there. Does take out the battlecopter. Does not take out the infantry, but at least gets it pretty wounded. And here comes Brenner's superpower. His own tank's actually getting low on fuel as well. Let's see, it goes from 92,000. Oh, he's not popping superpower just yet, trying to get some damage on his own unit. So 92,000 is the number to check up on. Taking some shots there, like that. That stuff will get recovered at an 87. Start at 92. 87, 92. 101. So it gets at least 10% health recovery across the board, or fund value. Tank, infantry, and anti-air. Wayland has 103 at the moment, so day-to-day funds will make him relatively even. He has 23,000 volts, so he could go for bomber this turn. His opponent does not have any anti-air on the field, so battlecopters, bombers would be very nice. Oh, no, he does have an anti-air down here where the airport is. Could deploy a missile to lock down the airport. That is a possibility. Battlecopter. Maybe he could have done that something a little bit sooner. Infantry, tank, and mech. Insert 119, Brenner's also 104. Brenner also has 28,000 funds in the bank, so you can go for some expensive options. Battlecopter. Infantry, anti-air, and tank. Another battlecopter. Getting some good hits over here, and tank pushes way forward to the forest. Good hits there. And mech, tank, and mech. It's the tank there. Battlecopter. Good hits there, hit some infantry units. Keeping a number of those units alive. He has added his superpower available again, so keep the wounded units alive is a good idea. The free recons are still alive both sides. Of course, this one should be at maximum health for a consolation prize. Tank, mech, and anti-air. Whalen could pop a superpower if he wants to charge in with his battlecopters. Pops the superpowers, charging for the battlecopters, not mentioning +10/+10 global. Miss out a bit of firepower up here. +10/+10 global is much more nicer than you expect. Nothing too significant, but it is actually pretty nice. Battlecopter, infantry, anti-air, and mech. Of course, with the plus 300% defense, it's hard even for anti-airs to take out these battlecopters. They took a decent hit. A 3 damage decent hit. Pops the superpower. The front lines are still smashed in together. 135 versus 112. That's still pretty even after day-to-day funds. He's on medium tank. Of course, he does have to deal with an extra defense this turn. Guess there's a hit for that. Get some great shots there. Medium tank down 2 ammo. It's also maximum veterancy. Getting some good amount of energy here. 42 energy. Of course, he does have to be careful with the anti-airs in the region. Mech, tank, pulls back the battlecopter to a safe location. He can deploy an aircraft on the airfield with the superpower active. Those are his 2 battlecopters there. First strike there. 1 health tank pulls back. Maximum efficiency. Gets a shot there in the anti-tank. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and tank. Does get some good shots there. Gunboat push forward from the mech. I got an A tier. Tank, infantry, and anti-air. No more CO unit on the field for Wayland though. Could seal this tank here. It'd be an 8 health tank. Battlecopter may need to push forward, interrupt the capture of this airport. And the 4 health infantry unit could take out the comm tower capture. I think it's want to head down more down south. Brenner has his CO power available once again. There's a good number of wounded units to utilize that for it. Wayland does these medium tanks on the field, but they're pretty wounded. 3 and 2 health. They of course will be repaired up. He's going to spend a lot of repairs. 13,000 after 20,000 income. Interrupts the capture there. Interrupts the capture there. Anti-air's in range of the battlecopter. It does feel like Wayland's in the back foot. But this is a pretty good counterattack. Takes out the battlecopter. He takes the wounded battlecopter so it doesn't get recovered. Because right now, and value-wise, Wayland is ahead by about a turn. Infantry, and tank. Hits the battlecopter there, hits the tank there. It's medium tank. Tank mech. No seal power by Brenner last turn. It's the anti-air. Trying to free up that airport. This battlecopter is still in a spot to cause an issue, but does get fully surrounded. Goes back to anti-tank. Gas COD artillery. Currently has 0 energy though. Wayland reforms the battle line. Infantry, tank, and tank. 113 versus 118, so pretty even. Could heal up the stuff down here, but that stuff is effectively dead either way. Pulls back the units just to just pull it back to pass his health recovery. If he wants to exit the airport, he has to remove the infantry there. Maybe we're gonna go for the anti-air. But you will lose, I think, either way, so probably clear up the airport. And 4 health anti-air can't pose a huge threat to an air unit. Is a battlecopter. Interrupts the capture, stops the capture, hits the tank, in range the artillery, hits the tank hits artillery. Unless this medium tank will be fully restored next turn. Artillery does remove that unit there. 6,000. Artillery. Spending a lot of funds on day-to-day repairs, and the battlecopter finds opportunity to advance. Oof. That was a pretty good battlecopter strike. There's nothing in this region to stop the battlecopter mode. He has to pull out anti-air up here next turn. Very good battlecopter strike. This may be what wins the game for Brenner. They're still pretty even in the center, honestly. But this... There's a battlecopter strike strafing your backline. Brenner's also capturing some properties over here. 23 versus 21. He could trap the battlecopter as well. He will. It's the anti-air. Anti-air infantry tank. And he's going to have 130,000, 139, so he's only slightly behind. But he has a full health maximum veterancy tank, medium tank. The other one's going to heal up quite nicely. Artillery took another hit. Might as well just merge into the CO artillery at that point. Maybe stop by a city, get 3 health, and then join. And become 1. Infantry, medium tank, and regular tank. There's a battle copter there. Getting some good strikes. Just have that tank there. Of course, the medium tank's in range of the medium tank. This regular tank there has a CO power available. Just need to displace the anti-air in order to utilize it. In fact, he could, if he gets something squeezed out there, the CO power could help him withstand any anti-air counterattack. And right now, Brunner has a pretty good core of medium tanks. 6 medium tanks are all full health on the field, though no veterancy, of course. Willen does have anti-tank artillery to provide cover for fire support for his current front line. Hits artillery. Trying to go for the airport capture. Stays out of range of the anti-tank. 7. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 8. Interrupts the capture. Fully stops the capture. It is surrounded. No anti-air or missile in range. Can't afford a bomber. Battlecopter. He has a CO power available, so that thing could... Actuality, this battlecopter could park itself on the bridge and be a roadblock. Thanks for his superpower. 154 versus 148. Wayland's slightly ahead. So you've got a very good core of medium tanks with a superpower to boot. It feels like Burner's in a good position, but he's not guaranteed to win at the moment. He is pushing for his medium tanks, though. And he is seeing range out of all the artillery, barring this one. It's going to be shelled twice. Or maybe thrice. Twice. Or it could be thrice. This got shelled twice. This one's actually in range of another medium tank as well. Gets good hits there. Medium tank strikes a medium tank. Max veterancy tanks get some good shots there. Throws more tanks in that one. Knocks out before getting restored by the superpower. Excellent turn there by Wayland. He has 190 or 19. Not enough for a bomber by 500 funds. I was trying to say. Anti-air could strike the mech, right? Does not. Probably wants to avoid the medium tank. Tank, infantry. Burner may need to pop his superpower this turn, honestly. Take some strikes, get some recovery. Battlecopter. Looks like he's not going to be doing that though this turn. Hits the anti-tank, which is very nice. Does get some hits there. Maybe warranted for superpower. Pop superpower, answer of 148. Force gets global defense. Wayland may want to take this turn slow with the global defense. Get some good hits there on that medium tank. Battlecopter, infantry. Infantry, artillery. Insert 146 versus 119 has a clear advantage of Brenner now. check that one there. Hits the medium tank here. Medium tank goes down. Anti-tank is at 2 ammo. Burn is at 28 energy. Another battle copter snuck the back line. Whalen could go for a missile lockdown the airport. Whoops. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry, and tank. Whalen's been leaving this flank a little bit too open. And Brenner's doing some great work back there. Does take out the, does not take out the anti-air. The extra defense comes in handy. And does block the bridge. Brenner's at 36 energy. Battlecopter. I think these battlecopters are starting to cause issues. Brenner needs another anti-air over here, as well as with something to displace a maximum efficiency tank. Surrounds the medium tank. Can be set free with a battlecopter. Or could just straight up take a shot against the artillery. Infantry, infantry, and infantry. This regular tank there hits the max veteran tank. I think Wayland's veterancy is really pulling, giving him the edge he really needed. Brenner didn't have many veteran units. Wayland's been maintaining maximum veterancy on multiple of these units, such as the medium tanks. Though he's starting to lose some of the units entirely now. Does free the medium tank. And there's still a sizable force here. Another battlecopter, he needs anti-air. Takes out that regular tank there. Takes out the anti-air, or battlecopter. Pulls back the maximum efficiency tank. Pops the superpower, so he has +10/+10 global. Not to mention the extra defenses battlecopters. Which, like I said, he can leave these battlecopters on the bridge just to cause a roadblock issue, like that. An anti-air won't take out this one, nor will take out the 5 health one, even though it is in range. Anti-air up here. Another battlecopter, mech, and anti-air. Does not take out that battlecopter. And Brenner has resigned. An excellent comeback there by Wayland. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And my apologies, before I get started next game, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. Let's see now. Probably have time for one last replay tonight. And that replay, I believe, will be this one. Let's see, 29 turns. That should be good. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the south side as the blue Snowwind, we got Jean Bat, 13 YT. Spawn on the top left side as the dark gray Isabella, we got Evil Ange. Isabella, of course, has been nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, and of course for superpower, all units get plus 2 movement range and plus 1 indirect range. Snowwind is, of course, a custom CO. I usually call her the Paratrooper CO. Standard boarding cost, 1 radius, 30, 60, 60. All, it's a bit of a list here, but in short, All unloading units get 1 health recovery and fuel and ammo recovery as well. Air units in your CO's unit gets +30/+30, and your first infantry or mech deployed from your base or factory will be forward deployed in your CO zone, assuming the tile is a valid tile. In short, this allows the forward deploy infantry units there, but also invites her to be inside aircraft for that aspect. So, like I said, paratrooper. And of course, description to explain all that, but it'd be simple enough. For her superpower, you of course get all that effect global of the health recovery, fuel and ammo, air units, and also get a black bomb. For her superpower, allows you to forward deploy your entire army, all ground and air units. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. This map is a, 2 base? Yeah, 2 base, 1 airport. You can see here the note production symbol that allows you, as long as one of those exists, you can't forward deploy. And there's a good chance she does load her CO unit onto a unit pretty early, because she doesn't have to be loaded up, particularly into an air unit, to start utilizing that effect early. I've seen her quite often get loaded up into an infantry unit there and just delete the infantry unit when it becomes no longer needed. This map also has some column towers in the corner, and there's also a good number of mountains here. Huh. Although last time I cast this map, it was a Fog of War. Maybe it's no longer Fog of War. I think the last time I cast this map, it was Fog of War and Gauge. I was casting Gauge, and he had a lot of good missile strikes on aircraft. It's a map I don't really cast all too often. Just generally doesn't really pop up. Bike, no CO unit just yet. Isabel has 10,000 funds, so probably go for a tank this turn. Nope, just double bike. She's saving up. Should go for medium tank next turn. That would be interesting. But knowing she's fighting against Snowwind, COing an 8 tier wouldn't be half bad. 16,000 funds, that's quite a bit. I'm guessing medium tank bike? Tank anti-tier. Granted, there's no fog war in this map, so there's no hiding some expensive assets. Snowwind has 18,000 funds. She's probably going to deploy out a battlecopter this turn. She could be loaded up into a duster. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. I'm going to CO the battlecopter. Isabella may want to pull out a duster to pursue that battlecopter. Tank anti-tier. CO's the battlecopter. Tank. Oh, you got the forward deployed infantry unit there. Tank infantry. Just right next to each other, so it's so interesting. Here heading down south to pursue the battlecopter, and a good junction point to head more south or more east. Tank. As well as not load herself up to the unit there. Unit anti-tier on top of HQ. Good target in front of her. Probably a good idea to load up right there. Puts units on top of the CO zone, so it forces something to go out there. Probably a mech. Interrupts the capture even further. 5 capture progress remaining. And 4 health. Does forward deploy mech, battlecopter, and anti-tier. Another tank. CO's anti-tier. Takes out that unit there. Managed to strike the tank there with the CO zone as well. Get a nice, delicious 14 energy. Bike and tank. 16 versus 17 properties. Takes out the tank there. Get her 9 energy. Make that 15 now. And this anti-tier is out of range of the battlecopter, so and now a forward deployed mech. Para-dropping some mechs, does get a good shot there in the battlecopter. It may have +30/+30, But still some affordable anti-air. Not a Whaling Battlecopter, that's for sure. Or Greyfield. Both of those two have high air defense. Get some good kills there. 32 energy, +1 radius, which does not improve the where units drop off. It has to be adjacent to the CO unit. We've got a bomber and infantry. Is a battlecopter giving her 34 energy. Of course, looks like this battlecopter is out of range and can't necessarily push forward. As this mech, 5 health mech is in range. Another anti-air battlecopter tank. Currently just 10 energy within her sphere of influence. Gonna strike the poor meteorite, you monster. It's completely helpless, defenseless. It did nothing to you. You know it's a game based on meteor strikes, doing everything to you. Instant turn is 68,000 versus 59. So, oh, great shot there. There's another round the mech. Now Isabel has superpower available. Snowwind could apply her superpower this turn. Let's see. There is, looks like 15 energy for Sphere of Influence. No, she cannot deploy her superpower this turn. Not enough targets. There's supposed to HQ capture, 51 energy. It does to get a join there onto the battlecopter as well. Tank, no forward deploy. Isabella, of course, can deploy superpower, which could allow her to get this anti-air in range. Possibly, no, that's a smooth path. No, can only be able to get in range of the battlecopter. This one could get in range, but I don't think this battlecopter could go down this turn. Maybe with this one here, +2. Nope, looks like this is just going to survive. Her tank could have killed the meteor, then the AA hit that bomber. Pops the superpower, anti-air, hits the bomber. Remember, well, she can forward deploy an army that's unweighted. She can forward deploy a war tank right here. She's saving 9,000 funds. This turn she has 29,000. She just needs 6 more energy, which is easy enough. Have this bomber. There's 6 energy there, so she can deploy a superpower this turn. It is, you see the S there, and the lock explosion, so it is not the black bomb, but the forward deploy. So units will be able to deploy around a battlecopter right there. Anti-tank, ambush anti-tank. Ambush war tank. 24,000 can push or deploy 1 infantry unit there and start capturing up a city. No, wait, her bases are consumed. And turn 74,000 for 64. She has 13 units versus 14 units. So they're still pretty even. And there's some valuable assets in the middle. Bomber could be struck there. Got a Duster on the field. Push forward the anti-air. The anti-air hits the bomber. Bomber goes down. A lot of targets up here, as well as some good possibilities over here for the healthy tanks. Of course, we got the wild card of the anti-tank and war tank in the center. Duster got a full fighter on the field. Maybe the Duster should strafe the anti-tank. Let's see, how much will this do? 10 damage. It will lose itself, which may be a good thing. How much does a Duster do to an anti-tank? Oh, not much at all. I'm just using machine gun being good against anti-tanks. But that's not the case whatsoever. Duster will strike the battlecopter there. Not a problem. I do cast Cup Heroes 1 every Thursday if you want to view them live. Of course, a couple heroes too on Wednesday, so tomorrow. Anti-air tank and battlecopter. Strikes the war tank. Fighter advancing. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. War tank hits that one. Finish off the battlecopter. Mech and medium tank. Snow One's in turn 71,000 for 76,000. It feels like Snow One's in a powerful position for high value assets. But she does get shot down. But also there is a high value assets in the middle. Anti-air here has 2 ammo. The fighter probably cannot shoot down the dust. There are too many anti-airs in the region. War tank can probably take out one of them. Of course, got the medium tank nearby. Bomber. She goes seal the bomber. Does go for Duster. Guess she's going to sack the fighter, take out the Duster, allow the bomber full air supremacy. Tank and bike. Insert for 81,000 for 64. Isabella is behind. Also feels like it's not. That's a big cost difference. That is quite a bit of value now down. It's a mech there. Yeah, it feels like Snow One started to run out of steam. Duster strikes the meteorite down to 5% health. Wait, was it already at 5% health? Or was it 6? It did 0% damage. CO's the bomber. Takes out the Duster. Battlecopter forward deploys 1 infantry. Or is that forward or backwards? Backwards deployed infantry unit. And infantry unit up here. Gonna capture the HQ. It'll take 2 more turns. War tank could perhaps displace it. 1 ammo remaining, but luckily machine guns at infinite ammo. Now has 1 health remaining. Anti-air bike or anti-air tank. Bombs away. This shot there leaves itself at 6% health. Mech, Duster, and tank. That did in fact interrupt the capture by 1 turn. And right now both compounds are actually captured by Snow One. Snow One also has more income. I've not been paying attention to that. Right now Snow One has 77 versus 91. And it's now her turn. Stops to capture 25 energy. She's trying to turn the game around. Fighter, bike, and can forward deploy. Nope, cannot forward deploy infantry in there. No valid spot. See here, no valid spot. And now I've got a fighter here for air supremacy operations. Maybe CO and anti-air on top of the HQ, like this one here. Yeah, I have not been paying attention to that. I've been so focused on the CO unit, I've been missing that. Does strike the Duster, the fighter there with a boosted strike from the Duster. Got a very good trade there. Could CO the anti-air next turn. Yeah, it felt like that no one's been on the back foot with the game, but Isabella just did not capitalize capturing the properties, looks like. Oops. Does strike the bomber there. But looks like the bomber will not be going down this turn. In fact, she could get her superpower this turn. Yep, superpowers are very easy. Duster doesn't strike anything. Up, just bombs the zooms her own turn. Fighter does it for the fire. Has a max out CO zone. Anti-air could take out the bomber. Nope, forward deploys a mech, so that has a bit of coverage there. Howdy. Duster does take a shot at the fighter. Does not knock it out. And with the money saved up, she's going to forward deploy a full army in front of her. Tank and anti-air. Of course, the 1 health recovery does not consume any funds. I think it should consume funds. If there's any nerf to Snowwind, make the 1 health recovery consume funds. Right now, it does not. Good shot there. Instead of 106 for 37, Isabel's on the back foot. Joins there, full fighter. Hits the Duster. Because there's actually been quite a bit of health recovery from that CO's zone. A lot of valuable aircraft, to say the least. I mean, every turn seems like a sortie of aircraft gets at least 1 health recovery. Deploys a mech. Tank battlecopter. It's the battlecopter there. It's the Duster there. Another Duster deployed on the field. A lot of Dusters this game. I guess Snowwind, Duster's actually pretty good. Hit the air guns she's specialized in, and all the infantry she deploys on the field. Of course, got the war tank, medium tank, and regular tank up here causing issues still. 21 properties and 19 properties. Isabel did flip some properties, and a column tower. Another Duster bike, and forward deployed a mech once again. Takes up battlecopter. Bomber still out of reach. 1 health Duster getting a strike there. 1,300 for free from the Duster, and 2,000 loan save from every turn from the fighter. Yeah, that's like I said, that's a little bit too much. That's the only thing I would say Snowwind should receive a nerf in. Make the health cost funds like colder. Duster, infantry. Quite a bit. This is one of the game I've seen the most amount of Dusters and fighters. Like, it's been a full air war. Times in which I want to see Tasha or Waylon. Maybe missiles. Another Duster, bike, and forward deployed was a mech. But yeah, Dusters against Snowwind is actually one of the more viable air units because Dusters can hit infantry. And she does not buff infantry. Dusters are pulling back. More Duster, mech, and mech. This mech could get a good shot there on that medium tank. Does hit the Duster there. Bomber advancing. Good forward deployed. Nope, going to be capturing up that HQ there. Howdy. Another Duster. Gets ready for a dust off. Mech. You know what that means? I think some sort of medical transport. Or just transport, not Dusters. Or in this case, World War II fighters. Another Duster there. Full Duster spam by both players. Infantry mech. No, I don't want the G-Force driver. Go away, pop-up. And does drop, what's it called? I can't speak right now. Trying to capture up the HQ now. 5 capture progress remaining. A couple Dusters help interrupt it. Maybe just join... Actually, there's no infantry unit there to join capture. That may have been oversight. Could have deployed an envoy to infantry there to join capture. Because I'm not sure if 2 dusters can stop and do 2 damage to interrupt the capture. Oh, does not do it, though. It looks like out of movement range. The dusters won't settle. Yep. Won't settle down, have a family. There goes the missile. And there goes HQ. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight. My voice is starting to go out. So everyone, thank you for watching. Have a good evening, and get some good rest. Enjoy.